Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Bruce Frisco. It is Tuesday, the 21st of April. This is CTV News. Tonight, fire at the paper plant. Crews battle a sizable blaze at Irving and Dieppe. A new era in cruise ship travel as passengers begin their voyages from Halifax. And must-love dogs, special needs puppies seek a forever home.
Live from our Maritime's News Center, this is CTV News. Here is Bruce Frisco.
Good evening. Some very anxious moments in the Moncton area today when fire broke out at the Irving paper plant there. The facility was evacuated and a number of fire crews were dispatched. CTV's Derek Haggett has all the details.
When firefighters arrived at the Irving Tissue plant just after 5 this morning, they immediately saw smoke coming from inside the building. Dieppe's fire chief says it took a while to locate the fire, but the sprinkler system did its job.
The building itself is still in good condition. We had to cut a hole through the outside wall to access the area of origin. There is significant smoke damage in the building and water damage.
About 20 firefighters from Dieppe and Moncton were on scene at the peak of the fire. There were no injuries. Chief Mark Cormier says there were employees inside the plant at the time of the fire. However, they all managed to evacuate safely before firefighters arrived. Heavy equipment was brought in to help remove inventory and debris from inside the warehouse so firefighters could get to the fire.
The fire itself was not large, but it was hard to get to because the warehouse is evidently packed with stacked products. So we had to get to the seat of the fire to be able to get water on it.
In a statement to CTV News, a spokesperson for JD Irving calls the damage minimal and says as of this afternoon, the plant was in the process of restarting production. Thank you to our employees who went above and beyond to help our team evacuate safely, and to the Dieppe and Moncton fire departments and all first responders for their prompt actions. JD Irving says the plant's fire protection system activated and helped control the fire. The cause is under investigation. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Dieppe.
Police in St. John have charged 2 men in the death of Courtney McKenzie, who was found dead in a North End home 5 years ago. In April of 2023, police charged a woman for improperly interfering with human remains in the case. Well, a 36-year-old man was arrested and released without charges. Police now say they've charged a 39-year-old man with manslaughter, kidnapping, forcible confinement, and other charges. Police have scheduled a news conference to discuss the case tomorrow morning. 9 years after a former Nova Scotia soldier murdered his family before taking his own life, we got an update today on what has actually changed following a public inquiry into what happened. The high-profile Desmond inquiry produced 25 recommendations to avoid a future tragedy. Most of them focused on gender-based and intimate partner violence, as well as mental health and community safety and policing.
A lot of these recommendations, if you look at them, very little in that work is one single department. It all cuts across many departments.
Veterans Affairs Canada has introduced automatic mental health coverage for veterans applying for disability benefit for certain mental health conditions.
The inquiry was told Lionel Desmond suffered from PTSD and a brain injury after serving in Afghanistan. He shot and killed his wife, daughter, and mother before turning the gun on himself.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Now to the story of a Nova Scotia woman battling terminal cancer and bureaucracy. She and her loved ones say a pricey drug could buy her more time, but it's not publicly covered, and she doesn't have the time to wait for that to happen. Here's CTV's Vanessa Wright.
I just want time. I want a little more time. Something Lisa McDonald is willing to pay thousands for as she battles an aggressive form of ovarian cancer. After multiple failed rounds of chemotherapy, her family says there is a drug that could buy them more time. But there's a problem.
Unfortunately, the drug is not covered by provincial health care, so we'd have to pay out of pocket. I checked with my insurance company. It's not covered by them either. and the cost is around $30,000 per dose every 28 days.
As a member of the Pan-Canadian Pharmaceutical Alliance, the province says they are in active negotiations with AbbVie, the company who made the drug. While they recognize the costs of treatments are not covered by publicly funded programs, they say a decision to provide financial support for Nova Scotians would come after negotiations are complete.
I have 2 children graduating. I have a 16-year-old learning to drive. I have another child that's cooking and going to Finland for it. I have things I want to see, things I want to be there for.
About half of all ovarian cancer cases affect women age 63 and older. Lisa is 43. The family was told by doctors she could have at least 12 more months with consistent use of the drug. But with very little time, they're counting on a fundraiser to help cover the cost of her first dose scheduled for Monday.
I mean, even if it gets me an hour with my children, I just want more time.
Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Shearwater, Nova Scotia.
Looks like a controversial land sale in Cape Breton that has a lot of councillors feeling they were left in the dark is about to become an RCMP matter. A piece of land in the Sydport Industrial Park is seen as key to future port development, and a number of councillors have expressed disappointment it was sold without them knowing. Today, the city's chief administrative officer admitted things could have been handled differently, but said the sale was bound to an agreement made by previous council all the way back in 2015. In the end, Councillor Gordon MacDonald put forth a motion of his own today.
So be it resolved that Council requests the Royal Canadian Mounted Police assess the circumstances of the Sydport transaction to determine whether further investigation is warranted, that the referral be made without allegation and supported by all relevant documentation. Staff be directed to compile and provide all materials necessary to support a complete review, and Council pursue paralegal, legal, administrative review as appropriate.
That motion carried, by the way, with only one councillor voting against. 100 new apartments housing more than 300 people will be built at the foot of the McKay Bridge in Dartmouth. Province today announcing the units will be part of a larger development planned at Shannon Park, the long vacant site of the former military community. The apartments will join another 930 affordable homes in the same space. Construction is expected to begin soon. Flood watch continues in New Brunswick tonight with a number of warnings, watches, and advisories in place. Still, there is some hope that this might be as bad as it's going to get this year. Here's CTV's Nick Moore.
Gagetown, New Brunswick is at flood stage tonight, and the St. John River is forecast to rise slightly higher tomorrow, then remain above or at flood stage until at least Sunday. Further upriver in Fredericton, a line of debris shows where the water was on Monday. The capital is still under a flood warning tonight, along with Jemseg. The city of Fredericton says river levels reached a peak of 6.2 meters yesterday.
We don't reach, any significant impact until about 7 meters. So we're looking at a minimal impact of flooding for our area. Although, weather can change, and, these are predictions.
I've never really seen this before, so it's all new to me.
Rebecca Matthews moved here from the West Coast a few months ago and is experiencing her first spring freshet along the St. John River. She's also heeding the sage advice from flood seasons of the past.
They blocked the trails off, and obviously they're admonishing people to not go near the banks because it's very dangerous.
Wooded areas along the St. John River are now part of the river, so drivers are once again being warned that more wildlife may be out on the road with nowhere else to go. Nick Moore, CTV News, Fredericton.
Well, the numbers are in, and tourists spent $3.7 billion in Nova Scotia last year. That's up 8% from 2024. Officials say there were 79,000 more visitors, with more coming from within our region, Quebec, Western Canada, and overseas as well. There were, however, fewer tourists from Ontario and the United States. Tourism Nova Scotia spent about $14 million marketing the province last year. Well, it's getting harder and harder to spot the sky through the cranes in St. John these days. Construction has become a familiar sight in the port city as cranes pop up everywhere. CTV's Avery McCrae has more in the building buzz.
The St. John skyline has seen some new additions springing up to start the construction season.
It's been something that we've been aspiring for. We want to see that movement. We want to see that vitality. We want to see that excitement that the cranes bring.
Multiple cranes have appeared in recent months around the port city, none more noticeable than the one that continues to build up a 152-unit high-rise in the heart of Uptown. In an email to CTV, site developer Percy Wilbur says the exterior walls are expected to be completed next week.
Right now, there's a little under 700 units actively under construction in the Greater St. John region. Put it in context, we've never seen this high a number since CMHC started collecting the data in the early 1990s.
Jeff Sears says the cranes are bringing growth to the city not seen in several years, and they aren't just focused on raising apartment buildings. A pair of large cranes are busy on the city's west side with a $1.5 billion expansion of the Irving pulp and paper mill dubbed Project Next Gen. A crane has also recently been erected at the New Brunswick Museum site that continues to target a 2028 opening. Mayor Donna Reardon says the cranes are hauling up the city's potential.
We just need to make sure we stay out in front of it, and we need to make sure that we're ready for it logistically.
Which she hopes means more cranes on the port city's horizon. Avery McCrae, CTV News, St. John.
Thank you, Avery. Still to come tonight, Kalen's full forecast, and we'll examine some of the social sacrifices that shoppers are making these days just to put food on the table. Coming up next, though, cruising into history.
This is the way to go, and we hope that they have more opportunities to do this.
It is the next logical step for a city that welcomes tens of thousands of cruise ship passengers every year. Details are next. Stay with us.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter.
Weekdays at 7, you can win $1,000 with the $1,000 minute.
10 questions in 60 seconds to win, and you can get the answer to question number 10 on our podcast.
Well, cruise ships come and go around here all the time, of course, but a vessel in Halifax today could usher in a whole new era for the industry around here. CTV's Jonathan McGuinness explains.
They're arriving by the busload. This group from St. John is among the first passengers to board a cruise ship in Halifax.
It's fantastic. You can just take a bus, take a car, jump on the ship.
They're getting on one of the largest ships of the year to call on the port, the MSC Maraviglia.
Yeah. It's a sister's trip.
That sister's trip is partially possible because of the cost savings from avoiding travel to the United States to catch the ship.
It was so exciting not to have to fly somewhere.
Yeah.
This is our first cruise, too.
Same for this family who gathered from across Nova Scotia.
It's absolutely convenient. That's what convinced us to go, was to be able to board in Halifax. We didn't have to fly to New York. We didn't have to put an extra hotel room onto our tab. And so this is the way to go, and we hope that they have more opportunities to do this.
Passengers have been able to board and disembark smaller vessels. It's a first for large ships like the 4,500 passenger Maraviglia.
After this one, we actually have 9 other opportunities for passengers to get on or off in Halifax, but they're mostly on smaller boutique vessels that are around under 300 passengers.
Point of origin cruise options are good news for the economy. Close to 600 people are boarding the ship in Halifax.
And for us to be able to do this means that people are either staying before or staying afterwards in Halifax and getting to have that economic benefit of the pre and post cruise in the city.
The MSC Maraviglia heads to Portugal from Halifax. Passengers who boarded here say they hope to do it again. Jonathan McGuinness, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, John. Okay, we'll step aside for a moment. When we return, your complete maritime weather forecast. It's been a kind of a cool, damp week, hasn't it? Kalen Mitchell will tell us what to expect for the rest of it when we come back. Okay, 21st day of April today. I had to kind of think about that because it just doesn't really feel like April.
Could have been 21st of March, right?
It felt like it.
Yeah, it's colder. The temperature's below average this week, including for tonight, which is going to be another one where most communities in the Maritimes do dip below the freezing mark. As we take a look at our weather systems map, there is actually a little area of high pressure sitting in place over us for tonight, so just a few clouds expected to be around. We are going to see some increase in cloudiness for tomorrow, especially for the province of New Brunswick in the afternoon. And for that province, the increase in cloudiness will be accompanied by a low chance of some showers. Taking a look at our timeline then for cloud cover and precipitation, might want to have something warmer for the morning hours, as those temperatures first thing to start the day will likely be a few to several degrees below the freezing mark. The afternoon sees a little bit of that cloud cover increase that's showing up there in through the grays, and these little flecks of green showing up beginning around north and western areas of New Brunswick. That's the chance of showers that I mentioned, but the coverage of those showers should be pretty spotty. So for any given community, it's like a 30 or 40% chance in that province of seeing a shower, that is. Winds in the forecast for tomorrow, variable in direction in the afternoon around the Maritimes. More to the west and southwest for the province of New Brunswick, but still out of the north for Prince Edward Island, eastern areas of Nova Scotia, and basically out of the northwest for western areas of Nova Scotia. They will be breezy with some gusts between 20 and 40 kilometers per hour. Let's look at the low temperatures for tonight, and most of the region falling a few to several degrees below the freezing mark, which of course is below average for late April. The daytime high temperatures for tomorrow will be up a few degrees compared to today. So a lot of highs in the north of New Brunswick between 7 and 9 degrees. So on parts of the coast, it will be cooler with high temperatures between 4 and 7. That includes coastal areas of the Acadian Peninsula, as well as over on the Quebec side of the border, the coastline of the Gaspé Peninsula. Fredericton tomorrow with a high temperature near 9 degrees. Same thing goes for St. Stephen, 7 at Campobello and 6 for Graham and Ann, 7 for St. John for tomorrow, and 8 degrees for Moncton in the southeast. In Prince Edward Island, it's a little bit cooler because of the north wind. Most of the high temperatures between 2 and 4 degrees, including 4 at Summerside and Charlottetown, 3 at St. Peter's Bay, and then 2 at Surrey. In Cape Breton tomorrow, also chillier for Inverness County, with both Inverness and Shettycamp, with the high temperature expected to be only around 1 degree. Sydney near 3, Port Hawkesbury near 2 degrees. On the north shore of Nova Scotia, Tatamagouche, New Glasgow, Antigonish near 5. On the eastern shore, most of the high temperatures between 2 and 5 degrees. 7, though, for Sheet Harbour. 8 for Halifax and Dartmouth for tomorrow. Same thing goes for Truro and for Amherst up in Cumberland County. The Annapolis Valley for tomorrow with high temperatures near 8 degrees for Kentville, Wolfville, Middleton. 8 for Digby in the forecast. And then to the southwest of Nova Scotia, 6 for Yarmouth and Barrington, but up to around 9 for both Shelburne as well as Liverpool, sheltered a little bit more of that northwest wind. Taking a look at the extended forecast for New Brunswick, some further showers expected on Thursday, followed by what I have is isolated showers right now for Friday and Saturday. And what that means, again, is pretty low shower chances, around 30–40% for both of those days. Mix of sun and cloud on Sunday. Temperatures look like they could trend up, the daytime highs, that is, towards the low teens by the start of next week, and that is more seasonable for this time of the year. Nova Scotia in the forecast, there's some showers expected on both Thursday and Friday. They should be pretty light. Chance of showers at the start of the weekend on Saturday. Temperatures still cool. And then a trend towards the temperatures becoming a little bit more seasonable by the end of the weekend and the start of next week. And for Prince Edward Island, we've got a chance of showers here over the next couple of days, Thursday and Friday, as well as for the start of the weekend. Sunday, a mix of sun and clouds. Same thing goes for Monday and Tuesday of next week with high temperatures closer to 10. Bruce.
Okay, thank you, my friend. We'll step aside for a moment. Stay with us. There is a whole lot more to come.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Well, as grocery prices just keep climbing, shoppers are being forced to make tough choices. For many, environmentally friendly options, for instance, have taken a backseat to simply just getting a meal on the table. In fact, as CTV's Hafsa Arif tells us tonight, Canadians are being forced to put value ahead of values.
Empty bags in hand, heading to the grocery store, this shopper already knows one thing: price will decide what goes in them.
Got away from the consciousness about organic products and you know, and paying more attention to its effects of me on my health and on the earth because of costs, because things have gone up so much. You know, especially as a senior. And
he's not alone. A new survey shows 62% of Canadians feel conflicted about choosing affordability over sustainability, while 72% say high grocery prices limit their ability to make environmentally friendly choices.
The difference between a rent, a car payment, and food is that you will be able to spend a certain amount, the amount that you can spend at the grocery store versus a rent where you can't negotiate a rent.
For most shoppers, the care is still there. But as the survey suggests, cost is calling the shots.
I value my local growers and supporting their business, but I think, again, it's just a matter of affordability.
So while environmental awareness remains, it's clear the reality hits at checkout. Hafsa Arif, CTV News, Halifax.
Okay, time for one final break tonight. Coming up, meet some adorable special needs puppies who need a special person to adopt them. Coming up first, though, it is your wake up weather. Here's a live look at Lunenburg in this Tuesday evening. Currently 2 degrees right now. Kaylin Mitchell with what you need to know for the wake up is next. Okay, it's Wednesday morning. We'll kick it off with a look at the wake-up weather and Kaylin.
Yeah, it's probably going to be another morning where I hear my baseboard heaters tick on for a little bit in the morning hours because it is going to be getting chilly tonight and a chilly start to the day for tomorrow. A lot of temperatures on Wednesday around the Maritimes beginning below the freezing mark. And in the afternoon, we do see some increase in cloudiness. Low chance of some showers for parts of New Brunswick for tomorrow, about a 30-40% chance. Most of the high temperatures, though, around the mid to high single digits, except cooler for Prince Edward Island and parts of the east of Nova Scotia. Bruce.
All right, thank you, sir. See you again tomorrow. A pair of Halifax puppies are searching for their forever home. As CTV's Vanessa Wright shows us tonight, both have special needs that call for a very special owner.
Meet Alaska and Winter, two sisters that love to play rough and explore nature. But they're far from your average border collie puppies. Their parents are Merle dogs.
And when you mix two of them, they inherit the gene twice. So it's like lack of pigment, and that's why they can't hear or see, because there's no pigment in their eyes and ears.
The condition is called double Merle, and while every case is different, Alaska and Winter are fully blind and deaf. They've been in the care of this animal rescue volunteer since they were 8 weeks old.
Honestly, for me, it's been really easy, and like they learn really fast. They're so you train them by like touch cues and like scents. So you have to make sure like they don't go by themselves too like close to the stairs, or they may fall and stuff like that.
They've grown close to her, but now at 3 months old, they're in need of an adoptive home.
Whoever gets to adopt them, they're gonna have like such a special bond because they trust you a lot, and they're trusting that like you're not gonna like drop them or take them somewhere like they're gonna like fall. So honestly, yeah, just being more patient and being a little bit more careful than you would normally be with any other dog. But other than that, they're so fun, they're so energetic, and like they're just happy.
Until they find their forever home, she's happy to watch them beat the odds. Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Vanessa. That is the broadcast for tonight. If you joined us later, you'd like to take a closer look at anything we've shown you, ctvnewsatlantic.ca is always your home for news, and it updates right around the clock. I'm Bruce Frisco. Thank you for staying up late with us tonight. Have a good evening, and we hope to see you again tomorrow.